Looking now at the Mozambique market update, looking at their economic environment, is Caprazine Hunguana, who is Asset and Liability Manager at FNB in Mozambique. Morning, Caprazine. Let's start with the inflation rate, which always looks very low to me. What are the prospects there, and what's been happening to influence that inflation rate?
Well, inflation is still low in Mozambique at the moment, but it has increased from 2.02% to 2.7% in January, year on year. And this is mainly because of the floods in Mozambique that we have experienced at the beginning of the year, which have killed approximately 100 people. And this has caused a lot of disruption to the supply network of agricultural goods, mainly tomato and rice from the Shokwe region, which is one of the main suppliers of food into Maputo. So this has actually prompted the central bank to keep rates on hold at its latest MPC meeting at the start of this week. So the main policy rate, which is the FPC, was kept unchanged at 9.5%.
Right, and let's look at the effect on GDP of those floods that you mentioned. Certainly loss of life, which is, of course, highly regrettable. But the effect, as you say, on the infrastructure, on supply and so on, and there are parts of Mozambique where it is pretty fragile. So is this going to have an effect on GDP? And what was the number for the fourth quarter of 2012?
It will certainly have a negative impact on GDP for the first quarter of the year and probably into the second quarter. Fourth quarter GDP figures are not out yet, so if we look at third quarter, we have GDP growth of 6.8%, which I still think is a bit of a disappointment if the government is targeting GDP growth of 7.5% to 8%, and this growth was still in the back of mining and gas production. And though those sectors experienced growth during the third quarter, it was still a very mild growth of only 25%. And this this low growth compared to what was expected results mainly from the poor infrastructure from the Tete region into the sea.
Caprazine, also let's look at the currency, the Metical, and an interesting equation, if you like. Against the US dollar, the Metical depreciated by 10% over the past year. Against the South African rand, it appreciated by similar amounts. So just explain what's happening there with the currency.
The Metical against the dollar has been on a downward trend since the last quarter of 2012 and mainly in the first 2 months of 2013. And this is mostly due to import demand, which has been surging in the country. And this is normal at this time of the year for the Metical to be under pressure. Main wholesalers start stocking at the start of the year, and there are also large fuel import bills that cause a lot of pressure on the Metical against the dollar. Against the rand, I would say that the performance of the Metical has mainly been in tandem with the performance of the dollar against the rand. The rand has depreciated significantly over the last quarter of 2012 into 2013, and the Metical just followed on the back of that.